my beloved child. Tonight, I, your Creator, the one who formed the entire universe, will draw near and place my hand upon your body in a way you have never experienced before. Prepare yourself, for you are about to be transformed, both inside and out. Your body, once wearied by exhaustion, weighed down by pain, and battered by affliction, will be restored. I will not merely touch the surface of your suffering. I will restructure the weakened systems within you, awakening every cell to align with the rhythm of heaven itself. 3 profound changes are being initiated. None of them are superficial. They are like 3 mighty waves, each destined to wash over you in the precise sequence I have ordained. First, I will regenerate the life force within you. Not the kind of energy that comes from ordinary physical strength, but a divine vitality, enduring, unshakable, and inexhaustible. A new wellspring will burst forth within you, like a river flowing through a barren wilderness. The parts of you that once felt depleted, the days you barely rose by sheer willpower, will shine anew, revived. You will encounter a strength so profound it defies explanation, a spiritual and physical awakening interwoven in a way you have never known before. The second transformation, I will reach deep into your nervous system and emotional circuitry. You have carried too many neurological wounds from past experiences, traumas of the soul, silent sorrows and unseen pressures that etch themselves into your flesh. Each time your heart ached, your body bore the weight of it. But I, the one who understands the hidden intricacies of both soul and body, will begin to untangle the knots that pain has tightened within you. I will reach into the fragile places of your nervous system, into the memories that startle you awake in the night, and I will speak peace to you. You will feel a lifting, not just in your body, but as though an invisible cloak of heaviness has been removed from your shoulders. You will breathe freely. Your mind will clear, like the sky after a mighty storm. And finally, the third transformation. I will touch your bones and blood. This is the deepest layer, one that many overlook, yet I see clearly. I see the inherited imprints passed down through generations, marks not of your doing, yet active within your bloodstream. The experiences of your ancestors, the burdens they bore without release, the compromises they entered into, all of it has left traces in your very DNA. But tonight, I will break those invisible chains. I will place new strength in your bones and a purified stream in your veins. Genetic afflictions will be halted, spiritual curses will be nullified, and you will rise, wholly renewed, not just for yourself, but for the generations that will follow you. Do not fear. Even if your body trembles tonight, even if a wave of sensation floods over you that you cannot comprehend, it is the sign that I am doing something real. It is your flesh responding to the nearness of heaven. I am restoring you to your original design. The blueprint I held for you before time began, now being fully released. Every part of you will come into harmony with the destiny I have set for your life. You are entering a season where every system within you will partner with my spirit. From your breath, your heartbeat, to every step you take. Can you feel the shift in the atmosphere? Heaven and earth bear witness, for this is no ordinary blessing. This is a transfiguration. This is the moment when you are being given a body that matches the glory that is about to be revealed through you, not so you may boast in the flesh, but so you may carry greater assignments, bear spiritual burdens that your body once lacked the strength to handle. You will be granted the ability to rise early without weariness. You will be given strength to pray longer, walk farther, and endure more steadfastly in your sacred journey. And you will see every part of you, from flesh to spirit, will begin to harmonize with the call from heaven. My child, when the stars fall into their appointed places, when night blankets the earth, though there is no darkness in me, that is the moment I will perform a miracle. No bright lights or human audience are required. I will do this in the stillness, in the sacred quiet, like an artist restoring a forgotten masterpiece. And when the dawn breaks, you will no longer be the same. You will be reborn, not only in spirit, but in bones, in sinews, in every living cell. I am writing the next chapter of your life upon a renewed vessel, not to erase the past, but to make it the foundation of a greater glory. I have been preparing you for this moment for a long time, through unanswered prayers, through my silence that made you wonder if you were forgotten. But you didn't know that within that silence, I was plowing the soil of your heart, removing every stone of pride, uprooting every thorn of fear, watering the seeds I myself had planted. And now, as the season arrives, you begin to feel an indescribable shift within your very flesh. This is the moment when your soul and body join hands to welcome a new era, not just of transformation, but of true destiny. Do not be alarmed by the sudden changes occurring in your body and mind. The strange fatigue, the vivid dreams, the sensation of living between two realms. These are all signs that heaven is drawing near. You are passing through an invisible gate, where your body and spirit will be fused more closely to the heavenly realm, enabling you to function supernaturally in the earthly one. This is not merely restoration, this is reconstruction. I am rebuilding, not from nothing, but from your very fractures, your very wounds, your very brokenness. My beloved, I know there were times you felt utterly lost. You stood at the crossroads, unsure whether to turn left or right. But in those hesitant, slow, uncertain steps, you were actually drawing nearer to the center of my plan. Sometimes, slowing down is not a delay. It is the space I need to finish the inner work before I open the outer door. You cannot carry my glory in a body still weary, or in a spirit not yet ready. That is why I must reach into your very sinews, into the deepest veins, until each heartbeat is aligned with the rhythm of heaven. Tonight, as the heavens open, every movement in the universe will synchronize to receive my visitation upon your body. Every shimmering star will not merely be a beautiful light, but a witness of the kingdom of heaven, standing silently in holy awe, bearing testimony to a miracle in the making. I do not merely wish to heal you. I desire to dwell in you, and for me to inhabit you fully. Your body must become a holy temple, purged of all traces of pain, of brokenness, and of former limitations. You may not realize it, but the words I spoke into your spirit in childhood have not been lost. They have lain dormant, like seeds buried deep in soil, awaiting the season of rain to awaken them. And now that spiritual rain is falling. Those ancient promises you thought were forgotten are beginning to stir like bells ringing from eternity. I am calling you to rise, not with urgency, but with a sweet and powerful invitation. Step into your destiny with a new body, a renewed mind, and a resurrected soul. You are about to experience what many have longed for but few dare to step into: a profound union between flesh and spirit. You will come to see that every step you take carries spiritual weight, that every word you speak holds unlocking power, and every breath you draw is a convergence of heaven and earth. I will make you like a current of divine electricity, through which I can release life, healing, and revival into places long overtaken by death. But for this to happen, your body must be renewed. And I am doing just that right now, in every cell, every neural pathway, every flowing stream of blood. My beloved, do not doubt. Do not let your logic become a barrier to the supernatural. There are things that cannot be understood by the mind, but must be believed with the heart. And faith is the door through which I fully enter. Remain still. Rest. Let me do my part. For what is unfolding tonight does not come from the hands of doctors, nor from medicine, nor from your own striving. It flows from the highest place, from my heart, from the decision of the one who has loved you so deeply that I am willing to rewrite your entire physical blueprint, just so you can carry the calling of heaven. Do not define yourself by the past. Do not measure the future by your current limitations, for when I intervene, nothing is impossible. Was your body once frail? I will make it strong. Was your mind once shaken? I will steady it like a rock. Has your spirit been buried in a fog of confusion? I will breathe into you the wind of heaven's clarity, so you may see clearly, hear distinctly, and understand precisely what I am doing. From this moment forward, your days will no longer be about mere survival. They will become a journey of fullness, of sacred life, of divine purpose. Rise in your spirit, even if your body lies down. Prepare a quiet space, not just externally, but within the chambers of your heart. For when you yield completely into my hands, that is when the miraculous can truly begin to take shape. I do not work halfway. When I begin a good work, I bring it to completion. And I have begun a work in your body. Tonight, when the darkness is still as the whispers of angels, and your spirit calms like a mirror lake, I will come, not with a loud noise, but with a majestic presence that only a prepared soul can perceive. My child, be assured of this one truth. After tonight, you will not be the same. The restoration will touch more than your body. It will reach into your very identity. And when you rise with a renewed body, you will also step into a new era, a time of power, of breakthrough, of intimacy with me like you've never known before. So rest, open your heart, be ready, for the great wheel of destiny has begun to turn, and you, yes, you, are the very center, chosen to turn with my divine will. Beloved one, as my breath begins to move into the darkest corners of your being, into the places even you have been afraid to touch, that is the moment when true life begins to be restored. This life is not the ordinary vitality your body once knew. It is a heavenly current. It carries the rhythm of eternity, the energy of the eternal realm. and the imprint of my own essence. When I reach into the very core of who you are, everything old and heavy within you will begin to fall away. The lingering exhaustion, the invisible weariness, the aimless drifting of lost days, all will be stripped off without mercy. Tonight, no one but I knows what is truly taking place within your body. While you believe you are merely resting, the heavens are in motion, angels are standing guard, and my hand is performing a miraculous work of reconstruction within the smallest particles of your being. Your bone marrow, the source of lifeblood and vitality, is being refreshed by the very waters that flow from my throne. I am not merely healing the surface, I am reaching into the depths, to the root where exhaustion first took hold, where fear once planted its seed, where the old patterns controlled the natural rhythms of your body. Can you sense it? Even if only as subtly as a breeze brushing across your skin, that is the first signal that renewal has begun. The things that once held you down, the pressure, the anxiety, the psychological weight pressing against your joints and muscles, will be stripped away, layer by layer, as if I were removing from you a garment that is too old, too heavy, and no longer suited for who you are becoming. You will no longer be bound by the nameless weariness that greets you each morning. From now on, every day you open your eyes will be a day infused with vigor and divine alertness. Your mind, once veiled by the fog of distraction and confusion, will now be swept clean by the wind of heavenly wisdom. I will cause you to think with clarity, to make decisions with peace, and to no longer be torn by the conflicting voices within. You will learn to recognize my gentle whisper amidst the world's endless noise, and with that sharpened discernment, you will begin to perceive my plans with more clarity than ever before. The old questions that once haunted you will be answered with undeniable understanding. Not only your mind, but your body too will begin to reflect signs of this transformation. You will notice that fatigue no longer grips you as easily. The persistent aches that once lingered without explanation, causing you to suffer in silence, will gradually disappear. I will make your joints supple, your blood flow vibrant, and each breath you take will become an act of worship, a living testament that I am dwelling within you. When you walk, you will not drag your feet, but move with the purpose of one who has been commissioned. When you work, you will not labor under burden, but thrive in the overflow of a life source that never runs dry. And you will come to understand, what has changed in you could not have come from anything of this world. No therapy, no medicine can bring such restoration from the root. For it is I, the one who formed the heavens and the earth, the one who fashioned every cell within you, who has breathed new life directly into your being. You will no longer live dependent on external motivation. You will not be driven by the frantic rhythm of the world, but instead you will govern time, space, and energy according to the leading of the Holy Spirit. What once drained you will no longer have a hold over you. The harmful habits that once left you weary, the heavy moods that pulled you down, the invisible assaults that wore your spirit thin, all will retreat as my life force flows through you like a mighty river, breaking through the old dams of limitation. Do not be surprised if you begin to feel lighter, even without drastically changing your lifestyle. Do not be alarmed when your energy rises like the morning sun. Steadily, never rushed, yet never stagnant. Strong, yet gentle. Radiant without being harsh. This is how I work. Through steadiness, unwavering, not ignited by fleeting emotions, but nourished by the fountain of eternal life. My child, you will know when this new life has been imparted to you, not merely by a feeling, but by the fruit it bears. You will begin to accomplish what once felt beyond your reach. You will rise each morning with eagerness, not anxiety. You will no longer live just to survive, but to fulfill a mission, to walk in your calling, to move in a strength that is not your own. And you will know that all of it is real, because it is my promise. I do not heal you merely so that you might feel better. I renew you so that you might live rightly. What I am doing is not simply to bring you a fleeting moment of joy. I am setting you in motion toward the destiny that was etched into eternity long before time began. You are not a damaged product being patched up. You are a sacred creation being reformed to align with a divine chapter in heaven's grand design. Every renewed breath, every purified stream of blood, every clarified thought is bringing you closer to the portion of my plan that I have written uniquely for your life. A plan that no one else can fulfill but you. My beloved, tonight I am working on every part of you, not just your spirit, not just your mind, but also upon the physical body I fashioned from the dust and breathed into with the breath of my own life. Those places you've avoided in the mirror, the parts of yourself you once viewed with shame and wondered if they could ever be beautiful in the eyes of your Creator, I am touching them all, not to make you perfect by the world's standards, but to restore you to the original design I sketched with love and intricacy far beyond human understanding. You may not have known it, but for a long time I have seen the things that have weighed heavily upon your heart. I saw the sorrow in your eyes when you stood among the crowd, yet felt unworthy, not enough. I heard the quiet whispers in your thoughts, the self-criticisms you've repeated about your appearance, your body, the things you believe you're lacking. But child, I have never seen you through the lens of those flaws. My eyes have always seen you through the lens of grace, through the sacred blueprint I have held in my heart since before the first light ever dawned. And now that the time is ripe, I am restoring you according to that design. Nothing added, nothing taken away, not a quick fix, but a deep rebuilding from the most hidden foundation. Every part of your body, every place that aches, every imbalance, every area that made you feel shame, I am resetting according to my divine order. No more distortion, no more disarray. Everything will be aligned in harmony, like a flawless symphony, where each instrument plays in tune, in rhythm, in perfect timing. What once malfunctioned in your body, from your digestive system to your circulation, even down to the smallest vessels beneath your skin, I am returning to its original operation. For I did not design you to carry prolonged suffering in your flesh. I created you so that your body might be a vessel of glory, a temple for my spirit, a dwelling place where my fullness can be made manifest. You will begin to notice this transformation, not just in moments of relief, but in daily, tangible renewal. Skin that was once dry and brittle will become soft and vibrant. Muscles that were tense and tight will relax in the calm of heavenly peace. Internal systems that once malfunctioned will begin to function in divine rhythm. Your footsteps will no longer feel heavy, but light, as though you were being lifted by the very breath of new life placed within you. And more remarkable than all these changes, my child, will be the light. Yes, the light within you will begin to shine outward. A light that cannot be fabricated, cannot be imitated by cosmetics or compliments, but radiates from the indwelling presence of my Holy Spirit. Others will begin to see it in you. They may not fully understand, but they will sense it. Something in your eyes, in the way you smile, in the peace that flows from your presence, will stir their hearts. They will feel drawn to you, not because of superficial beauty, but because of a sacred glow. The allure of someone who has been touched by the living one. This is the glory wrapped in human form, and you carry it not to boast, but to illuminate, not to be the center, but to lead others toward the light. My child, I am not merely bringing balance and harmony to your physical form. I am using that very transformation as a sign of a greater spiritual work being brought to completion within you, as though the external shift is a faithful mirror of the inner renewal taking place. You are not being given a new body simply to live in health, but to operate fully in the calling I have placed upon your life, for your body is an instrument, a vessel through which I accomplish eternal purposes. And if that vessel is hindered, the work may be interrupted. But if it is restored, then there will be no purpose of mine in you that cannot be fulfilled. I will also realign your posture, both literally and symbolically. No longer will you walk with your head bowed in shame or weariness. You shall stand upright as one who has been called, restored, and clothed in authority. That very posture will make the enemy tremble. For it is not human confidence that you carry, but the certainty that comes from heaven. When you walk, you will not walk as one who is searching, but as one who has found. And when you lift your eyes, it will no longer be with the gaze of fragility, but with the steady vision of one who knows. Who am I in the eyes of my Creator? Do not shy away if others begin to ask what has changed. Do not hide the truth that it was I who did this. Bear witness, my child, not with flashy words, but with a life pulsing with vitality. Let others see that when God touches a person, He not only heals, but renews, beautifies, and brings every crooked part into harmony according to His divine design. You are a masterpiece, still being perfected by my hand, and every contour, every breath, every line is being refined to reflect eternal beauty. I am placing my hand upon every part of your body. I am speaking into every cell. Live, be restored, function according to my divine order, and tomorrow when you awaken, you will not be the same. Not just because you feel different, but because heaven itself will have recorded you as the one who has been renewed. And you will walk not under the burden of shame, not haunted by inferiority, but bearing the countenance of one clothed in divine beauty, a beauty not born of cosmetics, but of the very presence of the Creator dwelling within this body of yours. And now, beloved child, as the work of renewal in both your body and your soul moves into a deeper phase, know that I am not only refreshing the life within you, I am elevating you to an entirely new spiritual frequency. In this higher realm, every sense, every layer of perception, every inner reaction of your soul will become sharper than ever before. I am awakening within you a kind of knowing that cannot be taught in classrooms, cannot be dissected by logic, and cannot be explained by human terms. It is a deep harmony with my own presence. You will no longer live in passive waiting, responding only after events unfold, but you will be moved by the invisible currents of my spirit. Before anything occurs, your heart will sense it. Before the enemy has a chance to plant seeds of destruction, your soul will sound the alarm. Before a heavenly opportunity presents itself, your mind will already be aligned to recognize and receive it. You will live within the prophetic flow of my spirit, not to display the supernatural, but to cooperate deeply with my purposes for you and for your generation. Your spiritual senses, which were once stifled by wounds, by toxic environments, and the rush of life, will now be awakened. Your eyes will see beyond the visible. Your ears will catch whispers from the secret place, where I am speaking words of life. Your emotions will no longer be swept away by waves of chaos, but will become a steady compass, guided by the peace that flows from me. You will no longer react in panic, but respond with discernment. A discernment not born of reason, but of union with me. And when that discernment is granted, you will see more clearly who I have sent and who I am warning you to stay away from. You will sense the spiritual atmosphere in a room even before a single word is spoken. You will know when I am inviting you to move forward and when I am teaching you to wait. Your steps will no longer be vague or hesitant. They will be steady, intentional, and illuminated by heaven's light. However, my child, this sensitivity is not merely a privilege. It is a sacred responsibility. It requires you to live with greater intentionality. It invites you to lay aside unnecessary noise and abandon the habits that interfere with the frequency of your spirit. You can no longer live casually or thoughtlessly. For the more attuned you are to me, the more vulnerable you become to what is false. But I did not give you this gift to cause fear. I gave it so that you might learn how to live alert, not in anxiety, but in graceful and wise responsiveness. You will come to realize that with this heightened spiritual discernment, the things that once deceived you will no longer have power over you. Sweet traps will be exposed before your discerning eyes. Flowery words laced with wrong intentions will no longer seduce your heart. And above all, you will know which voice is mine. Even if it comes like a gentle breeze, you will recognize it clearly. For I do not wish to speak to you like a stranger. I long to whisper to you as one deeply in love. I desire that your heart respond to me like a musician feels every trembling string, where even the faintest touch stirs the soul. This sensitivity will also make you a vessel of healing for broken spirits. You won't need others to tell you their pain. You will feel it. When you stand beside someone weary, you will sense the weight pressing down on their shoulders. When you hold the hand of someone afraid, you will feel the current of anxiety flow through their grip. And I will guide you through quiet yet unmistakable prompting on what to say, what to do, and how to intercede. You will no longer help others from your own ideas, but you will become a conduit of my love and power for their healing. But my dear one, it is vital that you do not let this spiritual sensitivity lead you into pride. It is not meant to make you feel above anyone, but to enable you to serve more deeply, love more fully, and worship more truthfully. What I place in your hands always comes with the call to humility, for it is only in humility that grace is preserved. If you try to hold on to grace by your own strength, you will be exhausted, but if you hold it by leaning on me, you will always be renewed. You must also understand that spiritual sensitivity is not always pleasant. There will be moments when your heart feels heavy with burdens others do not perceive. There will be nights you cannot sleep because your spirit is stirred to intercede for someone I have placed on your heart. There will be times when you weep without knowing why. That is when I am allowing you to feel a portion of the sorrow I carry for this world. But do not be afraid. I will never place more on you than you can bear. I simply want you to learn how to partner with me through empathy, through prayer, through the full presence of one who listens and loves the way I do. Continue to cultivate your communion with me. Set aside time in stillness, not merely to speak, but to listen. For in that silence I will teach you things that no book can contain. I will etch divine principles upon your heart. I will sharpen your spiritual ears to recognize my voice in the midst of storms, and train your eyes to see my light in the thickest darkness. In that place of intimacy, you will become a carrier of the atmosphere of heaven wherever you go. Whether in a boardroom or a coffee shop, a sanctuary or a prison cell, the very atmosphere will shift. For I dwell within you, and your spirit responds to my every movement. My child, do not fear being different. Do not shrink back if others fail to grasp what you are sensing deep within. You are called to live from a higher place, not in arrogance, but in proximity to me. And in that nearness, you will come to understand that every great gift comes with a narrow path. Yet you will never walk it alone. I will be beside you, instructing you step by step, protecting you when you are weak, lifting you when you are weary, and guiding you from one glory to the next. And when the world looks at you, a soul quiet yet radiant, tender yet fierce in discernment, they will recognize that you have been touched by something beyond comprehension. They will sense that you have been in my presence, and that you carry the lingering fragrance of holiness. And in this way, your life will become a living invitation, calling others into the closeness with me that you yourself have been welcomed into. When I lead you into deeper waters, I do not merely desire for you to see what has never been seen or hear what has never been heard. I call you to walk into places your feet have never dared to tread. My child, this is no longer the time to linger on the shoreline, gazing at the waves. This is the moment for you to lift your foot, leave the safety of the familiar, and step into a realm where only faith can keep you from sinking. I do not give you fresh visions to satisfy curiosity, but to place upon your shoulders a heavenly responsibility, to move at my command and become a living instrument in my hands. I know that the deep waters are not comfortable. They come with uncertainty, demand the surrender of control, and require you to listen more than you plan. But it is in that vastness, where your feet no longer touch the ground, that you will learn what it truly means to rely on me. When you no longer cling to your own understanding, that is when I can release divine insight. When you can no longer control the outcome, that is when your surrender becomes a beacon, illuminating the way for those still groping in the darkness. I am placing within you things that have never existed there before. A burning urge to act, an unquenchable thirst for truth, a consuming desire to see the kingdom of heaven revealed through your very life. These are not fleeting emotions. They are the fruit of a deep visitation from me, And once you have stood exposed in the weight of my glory, you will find yourself unable to return to the way things were. Your heart will beat to a new rhythm, the rhythm of mission. Your breath will carry the imprint of commissioning. Every word you speak, every action you take, will become a signpost for a world waiting to be awakened. But understand this, my beloved, to arrive at the place I am calling you, you must learn to act without hesitation. True faith does not wait for full clarity before it moves. True faith steps out into the unknown simply because it has heard my voice. I have not given you new vision so you can become a spiritual analyst, but so you may become an obedient executor. What I am revealing to you is not for accumulation, but for transformation. Transformation into action. One small step at a time. One major decision at a time. One graceless word. One quiet but powerful deed. You will come to see that the deeper you walk into the waters, the more you will need a courage that does not come from the flesh. The courage I am placing within you is not blind recklessness, but a steadfast confidence forged in the fire of testing. It does not stem from your skills, strength, or experience. It flows from your unshakable awareness of who is holding your hand. Every time you choose obedience, when no one understands you, when you are mocked, or when every door seems closed, it is in those moments that I pour divine strength into your spirit from heaven itself. My beloved, remember those I once called to walk on water. They did not wait for calm seas or for the winds to settle. They moved forward in the midst of the storm with nothing but my word to hold on to, and so will you. When I speak, do not delay. When I place something within your heart, do not run from it. When I show you what to say and what to do, even if you tremble, obey. For it is that trembling obedience that will shake the heavens and cause darkness to retreat. I am leading you into a journey unlike anything you've ever known. Those around you may not understand. They may ask why you've changed, why you're no longer as convenient as before, why you now refuse things you once embraced. But do not be troubled by their confusion. Do not attempt to explain spiritual matters using the language of the flesh. A divine calling does not require human approval. You need only one thing: to know my voice and follow it with all your heart. You are not walking alone. I am with you. Even if you find yourself in the midst of the sea, I will lift you above the waves. Even if the winds roar, I will be your shield. Even if your heart trembles, my presence will be your firm place of rest. I do not promise a journey free of struggle, but I do promise that fear will not consume you. For I am training you to become a warrior, not a warrior of sword and shield, but a warrior of light, a warrior of obedience, a warrior of truth. Every step you take in faith will become a foundation for the generations who follow. Your courageous choices today will carve paths for others tomorrow. And I will use you as a signpost in this generation, that even when darkness thickens, there are still those who dare to walk without hesitation when they hear the voice from heaven. You are not just called to live rightly, you are called to live courageously, and in that courage you will witness miracles. You will see mountains move. You will see waters part. You will witness the impossible bow to possibility, because I the one who can do all things, am by your side. So, my child, do not wait until everything feels stable. Do not delay action until peace settles in. Let obedience lead you, even in the eye of the storm. Let faith become the anchor of your soul, even when all around you feels unsteady. For I, the one who called you, am faithful. I will complete the work I began in you, and as you walk, you will not walk alone. Heaven itself will walk with you, clearing the path, opening doors, and bearing witness that this very one, has heard and obeyed the voice of the Lord. My beloved, when the winds of change begin to blow and stir up great movements in your life, do not let your heart be shaken. Do not let uncertainty frighten you, and do not allow fleeting emotions to cause you to doubt the path I am unveiling. For it is I, the one who saw you before the foundation of the world, the one who engraved your name upon the palms of my hands. It is I who am directing every step, every shift, every curve in your journey. Nothing happens outside the reach of my care. I know that change can sometimes feel like an earthquake, shaking what once seemed stable, unsettling the very foundation you thought was secure. There are things you once held tightly in your hands that you must now learn to release. There are people who once walked with you for a time, who no longer walk beside you. There are dreams that once felt certain, yet I have crushed them. Not to destroy them, but to reshape them into something far greater. But my beloved, I do not break you to harm you. I break to remold. I do not stretch you to exhaust you, but to enlarge your heart, so that it may be wide enough to carry the new glory I am about to pour out. I am not a stranger to even a single cell in your body. I am the one who crafted the intricate wonder of your frame. Every muscle fiber, every vein, every tendon perfectly knit together. Every limitation you feel today, I have seen it long before. And I would never lead you into a place that exceeds your capacity, especially when I am right there with you. When I place my hand upon your life to bring transformation, I do not do so with cold, detached power. I act with the tender affection of a father who understands every tremble of your heart. I am both the Almighty and the compassionate Father. And in me, power is never separated from love. I know you're afraid. I know there are nights you cannot sleep, your mind spinning with unanswered questions. I see the moments when you try to appear strong, but deep inside you're longing for someone to understand the loneliness that eats away at you. But I am here, not as a distant idea, not as a vague concept, but as a real present presence. I hear every sigh, every silent tear. Not a single sob of yours is ignored. Not one lonely step goes unnoticed or without purpose. My child, do not evaluate these changes through the lens of fear. Do not let the past imprison your present. Do not let the memory of old wounds close your heart to the good that is coming. I am renewing you, not just on the surface, but from the very roots. You may not see the results right away. The process may cause you to feel lost for a moment, but know this: just as a potter shapes clay with patient hands, I too am using time, silence, and even painful moments to form you into a vessel that can carry my glory. Each time you feel like you are about to break, do not assume you're failing. Consider it proof that I am reaching into the deepest places of your being, places you've never allowed anyone to touch. I am awakening parts of you that have long been dormant. Your courage, your capacity to sacrifice, the depth of your faith. Do not be afraid of the unfamiliar, for the newness you fear is the very doorway into what was written for you since before time began. And you will see, after every wave of transformation, after every moment when it feels like a piece of you has been stripped away, it is precisely then that you will discover something far greater, something eternal, something that surpasses every expectation you ever had. I never take anything from you without preparing something better in its place. But you must learn to let go. You must learn to trust that my love is big enough not only to comfort you in your pain, but to turn that pain into the foundation for your greatest blessing. Sometimes, the most beautiful things are born out of the most shattered places. And if you keep clinging to what is old and familiar out of fear, you will miss the new life I am bringing forth. Open your heart. Do not resist. Let me stretch it as a weaver pulls taut the threads of a loom to weave a new masterpiece. I do nothing without purpose. Every change happening within you, both inwardly and outwardly, carries divine intention. I am preparing you for a glory that is about to be revealed. Not your own glory, but mine, made manifest through you. And people will see, they will stand in awe, not because of your strength, but because the imprint of my hand will be undeniable upon your life. Do you know why I am so deliberate in every single change I make? It's because you are precious. Not precious because you are perfect, but because you are chosen. You are a masterpiece in progress. And I, the eternal artisan, never rush when I'm working on what I love. This transformation you're experiencing is a sign that I am preparing you to step into a new season. A season of fruition, a season of growth, a season of wholeness in grace. So, my child, let fear dissipate like a fleeting mist, and let faith take deep root in your heart like a tree unmoved by storms. When your hands tremble and your knees feel weak, close your eyes and remember, it is I who knew you before you even knew yourself. I am the one who counted every strand of your hair, who heard every word you never said aloud, who saw the hidden things you dared not show. I know you, and because I know, I can do nothing but love. My love is not like the love of this world. It does not withdraw when you are weak, nor shift when you stumble. My love is the foundation of everything I do. And because of that love, every change I bring is a blessing, even if it feels like a burden at first. Let that love drive out every fear. Let my presence take the place of every anxious thought. And remember, even when you don't see clearly what's ahead, I already have. I am holding your hand, step by step, day by day, and I will never let go. Not until my work in you is complete. Not until you become the very version I dreamed of when I spoke the words, "Let this one be." And when that moment arrives, you will understand that every shift, every trial, every night of darkness was a necessary stroke in the eternal portrait of love I am painting with your life, and you will begin to sense, in the most gentle yet profound way, that something within you is changing. Not with noise, not with drama, but with the quiet force of an underground stream shaping solid rock. The things that used to weigh heavy on your heart now feel strangely light, as though they were never truly yours to carry. The fears that once crept into your thoughts each night are now being replaced by a peace too deep to name, a kind of steadiness you know for certain does not come from within yourself, but from a higher source, from me. I am allowing you to step gradually into a new reality, where my presence is not only comfort in distress, but also the strength you draw from each day. You remember the times you pleaded for me to change your situation? The whispered prayers through tears? The silent petitions when no one else was listening? I heard every word. And no, I did not overlook them. But instead of starting by altering what's around you, I chose to begin within you. Because I know, when your heart is renewed, everything around you must fall in line. That's why the small shifts you feel now are not accidents. They are the first pieces of a much greater picture, a picture where you'll begin to see how I turn sorrow into opportunity, loss into harvest, and the broken places within you into temples of my glorious presence. When you notice your mind becoming less cluttered, when you begin choosing silence over complaint, when your heart softens instead of hardening, that is not merely a sign that you are doing better. It is a sign that I am working within you. When clarity begins to displace confusion, don't second guess it. Don't search for explanations. Pause, bow your head, and give thanks, because that is part of the restoration I am personally carrying out in you. And never forget, what seems small is never small when it comes from my hand. A quiet step forward in faith can unlock 1,000 miracles. I know that you've questioned before. Did I hear wrong? Is it really God working in me? Or am I just comforting myself? But little by little, I will show you. Not through fleeting emotions, but through undeniable results. You will see toxic relationships begin to lose their grip on you. You will find that the things which used to make you angry no longer hold the same power. You will look back on old battles and realize, I don't need to fight that way anymore. And in that moment, you will understand. I am renewing your mind, cleansing your heart, and preparing you for a new season. A harvest unlike anything you've ever known, where life will spring forth from places that once seemed barren and dry. My child, when you begin to love more easily, to love without needing others to understand you, or even love you in return, that is a sign you're stepping into a deeper realm of the Spirit. When you find yourself able to forgive, not because the other person deserves it, but because you know you've been forgiven, that is the evidence that grace has taken root within you. When your soul starts to be moved by the smallest things, a cool breeze, a gentle word, a peaceful pause, it means you are now living with a heart that has been healed. And when these things begin to happen, don't rush to call them ordinary. Because in the courts of heaven, nothing is ordinary when it flows from a heart that was once shattered. Every time you choose gentleness over anger, that is a victory of the kingdom within you. Every time you surrender instead of resisting, that is a step beyond words. And I the one who loves you with an unshakable love. I am recording every moment, not to keep score, but to remind you. You are on the right path. You are walking with me, and I rejoice over you. Beloved, know that this is just the first fruits. I am far from finished. What you are experiencing now is merely the opening chapter of the great harvest I prepared for you long before time began. What you are seeing are but the first rays of a magnificent dawn. Don't stop now just because you think this is enough. I never pour out grace halfway. I am the God of abundance, the one who overflows. And if you keep walking with gratitude, humility, and surrender, you will not only witness transformation in yourself, but through you, others will be changed as well. There will be times when someone will look at you and say, "There's something different about you," and you will smile, not needing to explain, simply offering me silent praise from your heart, because you will know that difference is not the product of personal effort, but the fruit of a soul that said yes to heaven's invitation. You won't need to argue. You won't need to prove anything. The very life within you, the light in your eyes, the quiet peace in your presence, these will testify louder than any sermon ever could. You will become a living letter, written by the Spirit Himself, readable to all. And when the great harvest comes, for it surely will, you will not be surprised, because you've already seen the first fruits. You've learned how to discern the signs. You've treasured every seed of grace. And in that moment, I will not only give you joy, but the power to preserve that harvest. For I do not bless so that blessings would fade away. I bless so that they would take root, multiply, and become legacy. You will not only be a receiver, but a sower, not just one who is healed, but one who heals. Not only one who is touched, but one who carries my presence wherever you go. So, my child, when you start to feel lighter, brighter, stronger, do not cease to give thanks. Keep your heart tender. Continue learning to listen and obey. For what I am beginning in you is the opening chapter of something far greater, something that will reshape not only the rest of your life, but perhaps the lives of people you have yet to meet. Do not underestimate the small signs, for in my kingdom, it is often the smallest things that carry the greatest power. My beloved child, do not fear when the path ahead looks nothing like what you once imagined. The roller coaster I am leading you into is not a random adventure, not a chain of coincidental events, and certainly not a merciless trial with no way out. It is a sacred journey, intricately designed by my own hand. The hand of the one who sees beyond what your eyes can perceive. The one who counts each beat of your heart and knows precisely when to bring a sudden turn, so you won't fall asleep in the quiet stretches of the road. Every twist and turn you are about to face is not accidental. Though some moments may leave you breathless, tighten your chest, or make you feel lost, know this: I have orchestrated every shake and jolt. The sharp descents, the sudden curves, the moments when you feel as if you're about to fly off the track. All of them are part of my perfect blueprint. There is no detail that's unnecessary, no moment that's out of place, and you are not there alone. I am the one at the controls. I am the one securing you with the unshakable belt of my will, a place where you cannot fall, a place where you cannot lose your way. There may be times when you ask, Lord, where am I? I can't see the road ahead. I don't understand why so much is changing at once. But my child, was it not you who prayed for a breakthrough? You pleaded for healing in the hidden wounds. You cried out for a dramatic shift in your spirit. You longed for a sign from heaven to know I was still with you. And this is my answer. Not in the form you expected, but in a way that exceeds your understanding. The breakthrough you need does not arrive through the door of temporary peace. It comes in the shaking, where every human foundation is tested. Yet it is within that shaking that the miracle begins to unfold. You thought healing would come only in stillness, but I am using the storm to wash away the old, to clear the space so the new can be established. You asked me to be present, and I came, not only to stand beside you and comfort you, but to intervene, to shake, to realign. And sometimes my presence doesn't come like a gentle breeze, but like a mighty storm, not to destroy, but to restore. When you are lifted high with sudden force, it is because I want you to see farther than your old perspective allowed. When you are plunged downward without warning, it is because I am teaching you to cling to faith, even when your eyes see nothing. When you're spun around, it is because I'm unraveling the things that once fed your pride, the things that made you think you were in control. And when all the movement stops, when the noise subsides, when your heartbeat finds its rhythm again, you will realize I was with you every single second. My dear one, I am not playing games with your life. I do not lead you into a journey to test you and then abandon you when you can no longer endure. No. Everything I do is rooted in love. Every movement in this journey is precisely measured. I know when you need a push so that hesitation no longer paralyzes you. I know when you need to be lifted so you can see the goal more clearly. I know when to let you fall into a moment of free fall, not to terrify you, but to teach you how to rely not on your feelings, but entirely on me. Imagine this, child. A roller coaster built by the one who never makes mistakes. A movement system in which every rail is laid by eternal wisdom. This is not a random ride. This is a ride of destiny. And you are the one chosen to sit in that very seat. Not everyone receives this invitation, but you have been called, equipped, trained, and now secured by me, not to keep you in the comfort of predictable safety, but to launch you toward the place where my promises become your reality. You will not merely survive this journey. You will emerge from it with a new heart, a renewed vision, and a steadfastness that no one can take away from you. You will not be the same person you once were. The things that used to trouble you will no longer hold power over you. The fears that once made your knees tremble will lose their grip, and when you look back, you will realize that every sudden jolt, every sharp turn, every moment that felt unbearable was actually a stepping stone, lifting you toward a higher place you once prayed for but never dared to imagine. Tonight, I give you not just an answer, but a confirmation. Those questions that have gnawed at your heart, Lord, do you hear me? Do you still remember your promises? Are you still working in me? I answer not with words, but with action. Through the movement of circumstances, I respond. And you will see day by day, hour by hour, that you are no longer stuck, no longer circling the same endless cycles. I am breaking every pattern of delay, every yoke of hindrance, every door that was once sealed shut. From this point on, you will enter a new season, where nothing moves by accident, but everything flows according to a divine blueprint. New encounters, new doors, new paths you never considered. All of them will unfold before you. And you will no longer be afraid. Because your faith has been tested, and now you know not a single moment of this journey has been without me. So, my child, breathe deeply when your heart begins to race. Remember me when you feel you're losing control. And smile when the wind rushes past you, because that is the very moment I am lifting you higher. This is not the end. This is the beginning. And the roller coaster of breakthrough you're now riding is the living evidence of the answer you've long awaited. Keep your heart open, your hand in mine, and your eyes fixed forward. For where you are headed is the place where promise becomes reality, not in imagination, but in every heartbeat, every real moment, every step filled with power and grace. And I, as I always do, will be there, right beside you, every second, every breath, until the journey is completed in glory. And when you begin to feel the transformation taking place in your body, not through a sudden, feverish rush, but through gentle waves of restoration, through subtle yet vibrant signs of life being reborn, you will discover something even more miraculous: that the renewal does not stop with the physical. It begins to flow into the deepest layers of your mind, into the hidden chambers of your soul. I am not only healing what can be seen, I am reviving the unseen parts of you, the ones wounded by years gone by, confined by lies, and boxed in by definitions that never came from me. You will slowly begin to sense the old thoughts fading, the negative patterns dissolving, the inner voices of fear and doubt growing fainter, like mist disappearing under the morning sun. No longer will you be dragged back by weary cycles of the past. No longer will unanswered questions weigh down your heart. Instead, you will notice yourself thinking differently, seeing life differently, and responding in ways that surprise even you, not because you're trying harder to improve, but because I am rewriting the operating system of your inner being with the eternal truth of who I am. The things that once held your mind captive in the barren land of limitation, I am breaking them, piece by piece. Some walls you thought were just your personality were actually fortresses of fear. Some habits you used to call just how I am were, in truth, invisible chains forged by unhealed wounds. But now, under the light of my presence, you will begin to see. You are not a victim of your circumstances, not the product of your failures, and certainly not a flawed creation that must be hidden away. You are a masterpiece, being reshaped, a temple under restoration to receive glory. And then, something you never dared to believe will begin to unfold: true freedom. Not the kind of freedom that flickers in and out with your feelings, but the kind that sinks deep into your identity, saturates every breath you take. Freedom from the fear of abandonment, freedom from the voice of comparison, freedom from your own harsh judgments. You will walk with a lightness in your soul, not because burdens no longer exist, but because you have placed them upon the shoulders of the One who carries them for you. My child, this freedom is not what the world describes. It is not living by impulse or preference. It is living by truth. When you become deeply connected to my truth, deception loses its grip. When truth becomes your foundation, you will no longer strain to do what is right. You will be drawn to it effortlessly, as if your inner compass had been recalibrated. You will move in the right direction without the anxiety of getting lost. Your mind will become clearer, like the sky after a cleansing rain. The negative thoughts that once flooded your inner world will no longer find easy access, for I have placed within you a new defense system, not a hard shell of coldness, but a shield forged from wisdom. When you begin to think with my thoughts, even when temptation creeps close, it will find no foothold. Your soul, that part of you once shattered by betrayal, by rejection, by loss, will begin to sing again. Not the old songs of survival, but a new song. A song not learned from your surroundings, but taught by my heart. You will find yourself sensing beauty in the smallest of things. You will feel your heart stirred by goodness you once felt too weary to notice. You will no longer question the truth that you are loved, because that love will no longer be a theory, but a living experience pulsing through every moment. You will be surprised to see that you are no longer ruled by emotions as you once were. When anger arises, you will recognize it and bring it under the authority of my Spirit. When sorrow seeps in, you will not let it drown you, but invite me into it, and I will turn it into the fabric of compassion. You will discover that you can love the unlovable, forgive the unforgivable, and bless those who once broke your heart. And in that moment you will realize, this is not you striving, it is me living through you. Day by day, hour by hour, the transformation within you will be like an underground stream, not rushed, but relentless. And one day, when you look back, you will see that you have crossed over from the land of not enough, from the borders of fear and limitation, into the territory of fullness, not because your circumstances changed, but because you have been changed. You will become someone entirely new, not losing your essence, but returning to the true identity I intended when I created you. No longer a person trapped in inner chaos, but one who stands firm in the midst of storms. No longer a fragile soul desperate for human validation, but one who knows their worth in the eyes of their Creator. No longer someone striving to belong, but one who knows they already belong. Forever, completely, unconditionally. My child, this renewal is not a destination, it is a way of life. As long as you have breath, I will continue to renew you. Every time you choose to listen to me rather than the voices of the world, you are being renewed. And with every renewal, I am preparing you for a greater glory. I don't just want you to survive. I want you to live for yourself, but to carry life to others, not only to be renewed, but to become a vessel that sows renewal into the lives around you. Beloved, when I begin to expand your territory, not only in the visible world, but in the depths of your inner being, I know you will feel overwhelmed. You will sense a stretching in your soul, like an old garment being pulled to fit a new form. I know there will be moments when it feels hard to breathe, when you feel like you're stepping into unknown territory, where everything surpasses your understanding, even what you once dared to dream. But do not fear. Remember this unshakable truth. I am the faithful God, and I will never take you where my grace cannot sustain you. The expansion I'm bringing is not random growth, nor aimless increase. It is a divine enlargement, intentional, purposed, foreseen, and measured from eternity. Each time I stretch your heart, I am creating space to pour in more life, more wisdom, more of heaven's glory. The surging emotions within you are not signs of failure. They are signs that a door is opening, from the inside out, from the lower place to the higher one. When your mind is overwhelmed and your heart races, that is when your soul is awakening to step into a new stature. Do not shrink back. Do not cling to what is familiar as though it were a safe anchor. Do not ask me to stop midway just because you're not used to the feeling of losing control. What is happening is not chaos, it is reordering. I am not disrupting your life to destroy it. I am reshaping it according to a greater, deeper, more enduring design, and to do that, I must pull you out of your old patterns, both in the way you think of yourself and in how you've limited me through your narrow understanding. External expansion must come with internal transformation. If I lead you to higher ground while your heart remains tethered to old mindsets, you will not be able to hold the place I have prepared for you. That is why I am also enlarging your inner capacity, so it will be wide enough not to break under the weight of glory. I don't just want you to enter new territory. I want you to step into it with unwavering trust, with a firmly established identity, with the resolve that does not tremble in the winds of life. I don't want you to merely survive. I want you to flourish and reign in the very land I have promised. And you will see, expansion does not always look like victory. Sometimes it comes clothed in trials. Sometimes it passes through loss, through closed doors, through relationships that are severed. Do not mistake these things for failure. See them as the space I am making so you can receive what is greater. Just as the farmer must till the soil, remove the weeds, and prune the dead branches before the planting season arrives, I am preparing the field of your heart. I am breaking down the barriers that once kept you from knowing me more deeply. I am shattering the mental walls that caused you to live small, caged in by expectations others built for you. But amid all these tremors, I call you to anchor your soul in this truth, that I am good, and my plans for you are good. Not just good in my eyes, but they will be good in yours too when the time comes. Even if today you do not understand, even if right now you are wrestling with contradictions and tears, the day will come when you will look back and say, Lord, thank you for not letting me remain in the place where I once begged you to leave me. My child, let my words be the firm foundation when everything around you feels adrift. When your soul feels stretched to the point of breaking, remember that I have never broken a promise. When you find yourself led into unfamiliar territory, let faith be your compass. Do not allow temporary emotions to steal your eternal steadiness. You do not need to fully understand in order to obey. You do not need to see clearly in order to walk forward. All you need to know is this: I am with you. In every motion, in every sigh, in every trembling heartbeat. I have not distanced myself from you. I am holding your hand. And that alone is enough for you to keep going. And when the expansion becomes undeniable, when doors begin to open, when people begin to notice you, when invitations come from places you never expected, guard your heart with humility, for it is through humility that you will be able to sustain all that I entrust to you. Do not let your new stature cause you to forget the one who lifted you up. Always remember that all glory belongs to me, and you are simply a vessel for that glory to flow through. Expansion will also require you to learn stewardship. I will teach you how to manage your time with wisdom, how to govern your thoughts with alertness, and how to navigate your emotions with maturity. You cannot enter large territories with a casual lifestyle. Growth comes with responsibility. But do not be afraid. I will not leave you to figure it out alone. I will grant you wisdom from above, send you companions at the appointed time, and give you discernment to recognize my voice amidst the noise. You will begin to open your heart to things that once made you hesitant. I will place new dreams within you, not to overwhelm you, but to show you that you were made for more. You will begin to feel a fire within, a longing to live not just for yourself, but to carry influence, to reflect my glory. And you will understand, this is not ambition, this is commissioning. This is a divine invitation to become like the dawn, shining light into darkness. So, my child, open wide your heart. Do not confine me within the small frames imposed by the world. Do not cling to what I am trying to renew. Do not shrink back simply because you do not yet see the path. Stretch out your arms to embrace the expansion, even if it comes through tears, through trembling, or through unexpected calls in the middle of the night. I am doing a new thing, and your part is to obey. The rest, the leading, the protection, the provision, that is mine. Keep walking forward, day by day, hour by hour, with the faith that what I am doing is greater than what you have ever prayed for. And then you will see, the territory within you will enlarge. The boundaries around you will increase. And you, the one who once doubted yourself, who once felt too small, will stand in the land of promise that your lips only dared whisper of in prayer. Every movement, every shift in your life, whether it feels like a steep climb or a sudden upheaval, is cradled in the palm of my hand. Not a single turn is wasted. Not one fluctuation is meaningless. All of it serves my higher purpose in you. And now, as you have been refined through the journey, I desire to lead you into a deeper revelation, that your response in every season of growth does not merely impact your soul, it leaves a mark upon your physical body as well. Have you ever wondered why I care so deeply about even your smallest responses during the hardest days? Why I pay attention not only to what you do, but to how you feel, how you think, even how you breathe when it seems like the air is being crushed out of your lungs. It is because I did not create you as a fragmented being. I did not divide you into spirit, soul, and body as isolated parts without connection. I designed you as a complete masterpiece, intricately woven together by love and divine intent. Your soul influences your body. Your thoughts affect the rhythm of your heart. And every decision made in the spiritual realm sends a ripple through your flesh and blood. My beloved child, let me open the eyes of your soul so you may perceive more clearly the profound connection I have designed between your spirit, soul, and body. What you feel in your heart, what you allow yourself to dwell on, what you accept in your mind. None of these remain in the unseen realm alone. They go deeper than that. They affect every cell, every vessel, every breath you take. I formed you in a marvelous and intricate way, not as separate mechanical parts, but as a living, breathing whole, where every element interacts and resonates with the choices of your inner being. When you allow fear to take over your mind, when you cling to anxiety like an old friend, it is your physical body that bears the weight of that burden. The nameless worries you think live only in your heart take root in your bones. Invisible pressures begin to manifest as aches and pains, racing heartbeats, shallow breaths, and restless nights. Sleeplessness is not merely a lack of rest. It is the cry of a soul that has yet to find its refuge in me. But even more serious is when you allow bitterness to take up residence in your heart, even if only a little. You may think you are protecting yourself by withholding forgiveness. You may believe that holding on to the pain is the only way to keep from being hurt again. But my child, bitterness is a sweet poison. It deceives you with a false sense of safety, all while slowly leaking its venom into your system, leaving you fatigued without reason and aching with no visible wound. It seeps into your bloodstream, eroding your energy, making you like a tree that withers from the inside out. You must understand that unforgiveness is not just a barrier to your spiritual life. It is a burden that weighs heavily on your physical being. It is the hidden cause behind those sudden chest pains, those unexplained headaches, that lingering sense of agitation you cannot name, and then you run to medication, to methods, to doctors, forgetting that before all those things, what you truly need is me. You need the fountain of forgiveness, where I have washed away all your sins, so that you, too, can open your heart to others. Do not deceive yourself into thinking that repressed emotions are harmless. The tears you never shed, the cries you never dared to raise, the rage you swallowed silently, these things do not disappear. They find refuge in your flesh, in the aching belly, in the stiffness of your shoulders, in the unexplained fatigue. The more you suppress, the more they find alternate ways to emerge. And then you wonder why you feel weak, fall ill easily, forget things, or lack vitality. But I see clearly. I see the roots of it all, buried in the wounds you've never let me touch. I do not condemn you for your fragile reactions. I know how deeply you've been wounded. I see the nights you've screamed silently, while smiling on the outside. I understand the agony of betrayal, the sting of being misunderstood, the pain of abandonment in the very moment you needed someone most. And because I have seen it all, I now invite you closer, not to erase your memories, but to heal them, not to make you forget, but to help you remember without pain. To bring you to a place where you can finally say, I went through that, but it no longer holds me captive. Let me exchange your bitterness for compassion. Let me draw out the spiritual toxins from within you with the living waters of forgiveness and gratitude. Let my light shine into the places that were once cloaked in darkness and bring them new life. You will see your body begin to recover. You will feel strength returning. The lightness of forgiveness always brings a lightness to the body. And when you allow your heart to be released from all the bitterness and suppressed emotions, you will begin to hear my voice more clearly. The noise that once clouded your mind will be replaced with the clarity of vision. The fog of exhaustion will no longer veil your thoughts. You will become more focused, more efficient in your tasks, and live with greater awareness and lightness of spirit. A sound mind walks hand in hand with a strong body, and a healed soul is the foundation upon which all else stands. My beloved child, this is the moment for you to courageously look within, not to condemn yourself, but to let go. Allow me to show you the places where you are still holding on to pain. Be honest before me about the people you've struggled to forgive. Speak out the names of the emotions you've long buried. I do not despise you for them. On the contrary, I love you far too deeply to let you continue carrying this weight. I long for you to be free, wholly, completely, without a single thread of bondage in your soul or body. I desire you to walk in freedom, not only spiritually, but also physically, light, peaceful, and unburdened. I want you to understand that obeying me in the healing of your inner life opens the door to wellness that radiates from within. Feed yourself with what is good, but also think thoughts that are good. Care for your body, but tend to your soul as well. Do not underestimate the power of your thoughts. Do not overlook the destructive weight of unresolved emotions. And do not delay in bringing every single one of them to my feet. Begin today. Perfection is not required, only honesty. When a negative thought drifts by, pause and hand it to me. When you feel anger rising like a storm, take a deep breath and call my name. When you catch yourself comparing your life to another's, remember your worth through my eyes. Each of these small acts will become bricks in the path of your healing, and little by little, you will find that you're no longer so quick to anger, no longer so easily overwhelmed, no longer trapped in the cycle of chronic weariness. For you will be living in the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Let me walk with you in this journey toward wholeness, a path where no part of you is left behind. I will not only heal your soul to prepare you for heaven, I also long to restore your body, so you may live strong and full of joy even here and now. For I am the God of life, not just for the life to come, but for the life you are living today. My dearly beloved one, listen closely to what I am about to say, for this is one of the greatest mysteries that many have yet to grasp. Your body is not merely a tool for survival on earth. It is a sacred part of the divine design I crafted for you. It is not separate from your soul. It is not an obstacle to your spiritual life, as many have believed. On the contrary, your body is a precious dwelling place, formed by my own hands, woven together with skill and care, bearing the imprint of wisdom and love. Within your body, I have placed the capacity to heal, to renew, and to regenerate, not merely through natural biology, but as a reflection of the divine grace I have sown into your flesh. Yet that capacity cannot fully thrive when disconnected from its source of life, which is me. Just as a river must remain connected to its spring to avoid becoming stagnant, so too must your body remain aligned with me in order for life to flow freely, circulate deeply, and pour forth from within. My spirit is a river, unceasing, inexhaustible, and uncontainable. It does not flow merely to stir sweet emotions, but to bring forth true life, life that reaches every part of you, from the hidden shadows within your soul to the deepest corners of your physical body. When you allow my Spirit to flow freely through your life, you will begin to sense a shift. A quiet lightness will settle upon you. A cooling breeze will thread through your mind, your heartbeat, and each breath you take. You will no longer just exist. You will come alive. You will no longer merely move. You will be carried by the rhythm of heaven. But for this river to flow in its fullness, the obstructions must be removed. These are the stones that block the stream. Unforgiveness that has lingered, bitterness rooted in the past, deeply embedded fears, self-condemning thoughts, and a heart reluctant to trust. These things are like rotting logs clogging a sacred stream. They not only hinder the spiritual flow, but they also slow the healing process in your body. I do not demand that you remove them all at once, but I invite you, day by day, step by step, to open your heart and let me help you clear the stream of life. Imagine this. When my Spirit saturates a life, He does not merely touch the heart. He flows into the lungs, the nerves, the circulatory system. You will begin to breathe more deeply. You will rest more peacefully. You will no longer feel depleted after long hours, because your strength will not come only from food, but from the holy current of life flowing within you. As you walk with me in spirit, your body will rise with grace. The closer you dwell with me, the more you will be renewed, not by striving in exhaustion, but by resting in truth. Beloved, great healing does not only come in the hospital bed or in moments of desperate prayer. It happens every day, in the smallest choices, when you turn away from a negative thought and choose instead to believe my promise. When you embrace silence rather than react in anger. When you choose trust over fear. Each of these unseen decisions opens the way for my Spirit to flow more freely through you. And every drop of that river is a divine medicine, not only for the soul, but for bones, muscles, and the very cells that cry out to be restored. Union between you and me is not a vague spiritual concept. It is a living reality. When you let me into every part of your life, from your thoughts and speech to your eating habits, your routines, your rest, healing will no longer be something you chase after. It will be something that unfolds naturally. You will begin to witness change, not just in how you feel, but in actual outcomes. Wounds that have lingered for years will begin to mend. Chronic conditions will gradually fade. And what medicine could not reach, I will touch with my healing hand in mercy. I am not the God who only intervenes in crises. I am the God of every breath. And if you will let me, I will transform your body into a true temple. Not merely a place where I dwell, but a place where I move, where I express my healing power quietly and steadily. Then you will become a living testimony. You won't need to preach. You won't need to debate. Your very presence will speak. Others will sense something different about you. They will see that you are not just physically healthy. You radiate peace, clarity, and a fullness that defies explanation. And when they ask, you will be able to say, "It is the river of the Spirit of God flowing within me." So, my child, honor your body, not by the standards of this world, but by the radiant light of my glory. Do not damage it with toxic thoughts. Do not neglect it through careless living. Love this body as I have loved it in creating it. Nourish it with my promises, with worship, with forgiveness, with gratitude. And then you will not merely be healed. You will live in a continuous state of healing, a life aligned with heaven, sustained by the Spirit, and guarded by my love. My beloved child, when you let faith be the torch that lights your path, when praise becomes your daily breath, and surrender the rhythm of your heart, then no chain can hold you captive in the shadows. You will come to see that it is precisely in the moments you do not understand, but still choose to believe, me, that heaven leans in and bears witness to your spirit what the world deems weakness. Surrender, obedience, and praise, in the midst of tears, are in fact the very things that shake the heavens. My power does not flow through calculating hands, but through hearts yielded without reservation. I am not looking for perfection in you. I am looking for your willingness. And when you place that willingness upon the altar, I will breathe my living breath into it, transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary, and the small into the great. Let me remind you of this truth. Blessing is not a prize awarded at the end of a flawless journey, but a faithful companion on every obedient step you take. When you walk in the light of my word, not to achieve something, but simply because you love and trust me, then blessings will surround you like the morning mist that gently blankets a parched field. Do not think that healing only comes in a sudden, supernatural moment. No, my dear one. Sometimes, healing arrives through each small choice you make, choosing forgiveness over resentment, faith over doubt, and my voice over the noise of the world. Every decision that belongs to me lays another stone in the foundation I am building in your life. The renewal of your mind will not take place in a day, but with each thought offered to me, and every perspective you allow my spirit to reshape, you are laying the groundwork for a new way of thinking, one that is filled with light, truth, and life. In this new way, you will no longer react from instinct, but respond with wisdom from above. You will no longer be swayed by the erratic emotions of your heart or those around you, but will stand firm on the unshakable rock. When your spirit is filled with my peace, it will no longer be a dwelling place for anxiety or fear. Instead, it will become a sacred sanctuary, a place where I delight to dwell, and where those who come near you will sense my presence, even when not a single word is spoken. Understand this. Obedience is not a burden. It is the key that unlocks the door to a life of purpose. When you obey, you are partnering with my creative hand to reshape your destiny. Every time you choose my will, especially when it contradicts your own expectations, you are moving closer to the perfect plan I prepared for you since before the foundation of the world. I know there will be moments when you feel lost, when you wonder, why must I sacrifice so much just to obey? But, my child, know this: whatever you surrender for my sake will be restored with something eternal, immeasurable by any earthly standard. You lose nothing when you obey me. You are merely exchanging the temporary for the everlasting. Hold fast to your faith, not only when the seas are calm, but especially when the storms arise. True faith is not the certainty that comes after seeing results. It is the courage to keep going when nothing is visible. Yet you know that I am still working, And that kind of faith will open the gates into the deeper chambers of my presence, where you are no longer defined by your circumstances, but by the sacred relationship between you and me. My presence is not a trophy for the deserving, but a refuge for the longing and the trusting. When you draw near, not with hands full of achievements, but with a heart laid bare, I will cover you with a love that knows no condition, a love that heals the deepest wounds and revives the hope that once lay lifeless. Let me make it clear to you. You are not called to live a mechanical religious life, but to walk in a living, breathing relationship with me. In every praise you offer, you are building an altar of truth. In every act of obedience, you are paving the way for my glory to be revealed. In every moment of surrender, I am writing a story that no one else can write, because it is uniquely yours. Do not look at someone else's journey with comparison or discouragement, for you were not created to be a copy, but to reflect me in a way that only you can. And my beloved, do not ever think that surrender is a sign of weakness. In my kingdom, the one who yields the most is the one entrusted with the greatest power. True strength is not found in controlling everything, but in trusting enough to let go. When you place your most precious things into my hands, I do not take them away. I transform them, multiply them, and return them to you in ways far beyond your understanding. What you offer, I will sanctify. What you surrender, I will restore. And what you believe, I will perfect. So move forward, not with fear of what's coming, but with trust in the one who goes before you. Let every step you take proclaim this truth, that you belong to me, that you trust me, that you choose me, even if it means laying down things you once thought were essential. Walk as one who has been healed, even if your heart still bleeds. Praise as one who has already received, even if your hands are still empty. Surrender as one who has already triumphed, even while the battle continues. For in these responses, you are establishing the foundation of a life through which my power will flow unceasingly. And I promise you, no prayer you have ever prayed is wasted. No act of trust has been overlooked. I see every tear you've sown in the soil of hope, and I am using them to water the harvest that is soon to come. I see the choices you've made in secret, and I will declare them in the light. Stay faithful, stay steadfast. Let faith, praise, and surrender become the very breath you live by. For when they do, you are not merely surviving. You are walking in the destiny I authored for you before the foundations of the world. And that, beloved, is where true peace begins. Now, offer me your sincere prayer. You may say, Lord, tonight, I do not come to you with understanding, but with surrender. I cannot fully comprehend what you are doing in my body, but I choose to trust you. As the night falls and the heavens bear witness to your promises, I offer my soul, my mind, and my body into your hands. Please fulfill the holy work you have appointed. Touch every cell, every joint, every breath within me. Recreate me, not in the patterns of this world, but in the divine image you have hidden in your heart since before time began. I receive this transformation not with fear, but with trembling gratitude. I know that tonight marks the beginning of something deep, something my eyes have never seen, my ears have never heard, and my heart has never imagined. But it is all held in the goodness of your plan. Lord, please renew every part of me that has been worn down. Take away the cloak of exhaustion and clothe me instead with garments of strength and restoration. Revive the innermost places within me, the places only you can see. I do not seek outward beauty, but I long to be clothed with the life that flows from you. May my body become a sacred dwelling place, an instrument for holy purpose, a living testimony of your healing power. Lord, tonight, I step into a quiet yet momentous encounter. I do not come to demand, but to be attuned to the rhythm of your heart. Please heighten my spiritual sensitivity, that I may not only hear, but also feel your breath. Awaken my senses, illuminate my mind, and draw my soul into heavenly realms. I long to live not by natural reaction, but by spiritual response to every whisper from you. Grant me the courage to walk in obedience, even when I do not know where the path may lead. Fill me with your Holy Spirit, so that every action, every word, and every step I take may be guided by your radiant light. Lord, I know that my body does not exist in isolation. I am a unified being, body, soul, and spirit, delicately and intricately designed by you. Therefore, today I ask for holistic healing. Heal the unseen wounds, the unspoken pains, the stress that has accumulated within me for too long. Pour soothing oil over every broken place in my soul, and let my body begin to respond to the peace that comes from you. Restore the function of every part within me. Renew what has grown weary. Let me know that when I surrender myself into your mercy, you do more than heal. You make all things new. Lord, I know that the upheavals I face are not random, but divinely orchestrated by you. Even when I feel as though I'm falling into a void of uncertainty, I choose to believe that your hand still holds me. Teach me how to rest, even in the midst of movement. Teach me how to hold firm to faith through unexpected turns. Grant me a soul anchored in you, so that I am not shaken by circumstances, but established by your faithful presence. Open my eyes to see that every event is not punishment, but a vessel to bring me closer to your eternal purpose. Lord, I bow my head in gratitude, because you have not abandoned me on this steep path. Thank you that tonight is unlike any other night. It is a night set apart, a night touched by you, a night sanctified. Thank you for the silent yet profound transformation taking place within me. Though my eyes have not yet seen it fully, I know your power is at work. And I give thanks, not only for what you will do, but for who you are, the one who is moving now, right here, inside of me. Lord, I thank you. You who shaped me with eternal wisdom, I thank you not only for healing my body, but for renewing my soul, reshaping my thinking, and unlocking my spirit. Thank you that every stirring I feel today is your gentle voice, inviting me into deeper waters. I know that all you are doing is woven in love, and that love is the foundation of the resurrection I have been waiting for. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. If you love the Lord, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a message full of meaning and life from Him. Together, we will grow in faith, and live a life fully embraced by His love. Amen.